Ferris State wins at home 41 to 35 in a great game against Tiffin. And this is a Tiffin team that I truly think is a really good team. And you really have to give full on credit to Tiffin for the way they responded in this game. Because late in the first half, Ferris went up 28 to 7. And it was at home. Obviously, a ton of momentum going for Ferris at that point. But Tiffin was able to respond almost instantly to cut the lead down to 14 headed into the second half. And after it got that point, it was just back and forth. It was throwing punches. It was swinging momentum both sides. And it truly at one point, when Tiffin ended up blocking a field goal and returning that for 77 yards for a touchdown, it was an 8-point game headed into the fourth quarter at Ferris State. And that was a huge momentum swinging play to Tiffin. Now, Ferris did end up responding after that by a Wyatt Bauer touchdown, but then Tiffin responded pretty shortly after that with a 65-yard pass for another lead cut down to 7 points at that point. Now, obviously, Tiffin ended up trying the onside kick. They didn't end up getting. Ferris ended up winning by 7, but this Tiffin team truly is a fighting team, and they're a really talented team, and it truly starts out with their quarterback in Alex Johnson. Alex was really good in this game. He did make one throw that was intercepted. I think that's going to be a throw that he's going to want back. If you look at the film, it seemed like it was a little bit maybe in double coverage. I think the safety came over tap at the end. I think he's definitely going to want to have that throw back, but outside of that, Alex was a guy that kept this team and kept this offense going and really was able to get it to his wide receivers in Jaden McKinstry. Ronald Blackman was involved. Amari White was involved. He was able to continue this offense, and just the way that they were able to throw the ball on this Ferris State defense, they truly do have a ton of weapons. Now, they did struggle a little bit trying to run the ball. They end up only running it for, I think, a little bit over 70 yards total, which obviously is not great per se, but really putting up 34 points in an offense in this game that really couldn't run the ball effectively, I think that shows you how good this offense is for Tiffin. And I think this is a team to continue to watch out for. This is a team why they're one of the favorites in the GMAC is because of this offense, is because of just how much talent is surrounding this team and just the fact that they just never give up. They just never start fighting. And I truly think this is going to be a Tiffin team that's going to win a ton of games. And I think just the way that obviously they fell short, but just the way they fought in this game against this Ferris State defense is commendable. And I truly think that what they have going, especially with Alex Johnson at the quarterback position, I think that's going to really work out extremely well for them. They're a really talented team, and even though they fell short, and sometimes at the end of the day when you do fell short, it's kind of hard to take away positives from a game. I truly think this Tiffin team can take away that they were right there with one of the best teams in the country, and maybe running the ball a little bit effectively, maybe not having that interception could have changed the game. And I think you have to give full credit to Tiffin for this game. Great team, great coach, and great game overall. And speaking of great game, let's talk about Ferris on their side of things. Let's really start out with Wyatt Bauer. He's just continuing to impress every single game. Really young player, obviously, again, first year starting, but 232 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. He actually threw one of those to his twin brother, Tariq Bauer, which is awesome seeing that connection between both of them. But he also used his legs. He's just really a dual threat quarterback that can really do it all. He was a leading rusher again, 146 yards. Himself, he had almost 380 yards of offense alone. That's just so difficult to stop. And then when you add a Brady Ross on this, who threw 1 touchdown, he ended up not really having a ton of rushing attempts, but then you have Zach Aaron, had 10 attempts, 89 yards. Tariq Brett had 5 attempts, 34 yards. This Ferris State team ran for almost 300 yards on the ground. And that's just so tough to obviously go against, but they continue to do it through the air as well. Like this Ferris team overall, their total offense was 534 yards. 261 of those through the air, 273 of those on the ground. It's just tough, right? Like you can perform as well as Tiffin did, and I truly think they performed really well. It's just tough to beat an offense that can do it on both sides of the ball. They can throw it, they can run it. Just so difficult to do it, and truly, I think you're continuing to see why this Ferris State team is number one in the country. They can be tested. They were absolutely tested in this game. They can respond. They can go quiet a little bit. But every time they need a big play, it comes from a Wyatt Bauer. It comes from a Brady Rose. It comes from these skill position players. You have Ty Boyd, Jeremiah Lee, Cam Underwood also had a touchdown reception in this game. It just comes from everywhere. And this offense, if it continues to do that, they're going to continue to put up points. And when you put up points, it's going to be really difficult to win against this defense. And we saw that maybe this defense didn't have their best game, but this offense was a little bit better, and that's the reason why Ferris was able to win this game. Now, obviously, I think Ferris made some mistakes. Obviously, the black field goal is a huge part of that. I think Ferris is going to continue to improve on those things. I would have to guess Coach Anise wasn't too thrilled about that, if I would have to say, but they're going to continue to improve. And I think both of these teams are going to continue to improve. I think both of these teams have a ton of potential. I honestly think both of these teams will probably be in the playoffs. Like, they're both going to be right up there, and rightfully so, because we saw a great game tonight. We saw two great teams with a ton of talent, and if you watch this game, you truly were treated to a great D2 football game, because I think there's a ton of players on both sides of the ball that are going to be really impactful, really fun players, and it starts with the quarterback position, but truly starts with wide receivers, running backs, defensemen were also really great as well that had impacts in this game. Like, just a really fun game. Good luck to both teams. I think it's going to be something that we're going to continue to talk about going forward. But yeah, good win for Ferris State. Shout out to Tiffin for pushing Ferris to the very end. There was a real possibility that this game could have went differently. It did not. Ferris is now 3-0, and I think Tiffin's going to continue to win a lot of games going forward. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this preview. It was a lot of fun talking about this game. Obviously, Ferris is getting closer to the GLIAC schedule, so obviously we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. But, yeah, if you like this preview, if you listen to the whole thing, please like, subscribe, comment. Please share. Send it to family, friends, all of that. Really would appreciate it. There's definitely going to be a lot more Ferris State content coming up, but there's other content as well, like Michigan State, Michigan, Hope. You got GVSU. You also have Michigan Tech. There's going to be a lot more GLIAC. There's going to be some GMAC. Basically anything in the state of Michigan, I will cover. So if you enjoyed it, definitely subscribe, continue to support, and more Ferris State content will be coming up in the future.